Hi everyone. So I'm putting this video together to help families help their children and other family members stay focused when they're learning on school through all of this. We start by just simply searching Microsoft Family. Now, this only works on a Microsoft system, Windows basically. If you have an Apple or Android device, this will not work on it. However, you can look up alternatives for them, but I would really recommend you use Microsoft Family. So if you don't have one, unfortunately it won't work. But if you do have one, please continue to watch, and this should be helpful to you. So you click Microsoft account after, well, search Microsoft Family. The first link should be the link that you're looking for. Once you click that, you will get the option to sign in or to create an account. If you have an Outlook or Hotmail account, you can just simply sign in using that and you'll be fine. But if you do not create an account, it should be pretty fast. And once you're in, you click create a family group once you get to the family page. Now, once you are here, you will get two options. The two options that you get are member or organizer. Now, if you are just doing it for your children or another family member that you're trying to help make sure that they're focused online, you would simply enter them as a member. But if you are trying to be the organizer or to add another organizer, then you would add another organizer. So here I'm going to add a member. Okay, and then we just type this in. Done. Now obviously you could invite more, but for now we are done. Once we are done, I have another window open here. I'm just going to drag over. You are going to get the child or the family member will get an invitation, and they just simply have to click join in their email. And once they join the family, you will now have access on your side. So we're just going to refresh this window. Now, they will need to be logged in onto the device with their Microsoft account to be able to have all the limitations and restrictions and be able to see all the reports and everything that about their usage and everything like that. But we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's just focus on the features that we have here. So now that we're here, you're going to see on the dashboard as soon as you go in the family members. It's going to show a list. Here you could look at their activity. Because this is a new account, we're not going to really see any activity. But once they are logged in, you will see. Actually, here you have to do activity reporting. You have to turn that on. And it will send you emails weekly, and it will show you all the lists of games and web browsing and everything like that. And once it shows all that here, you'll be able to block websites. You'll see right next to the web browsing, it'll show you block options, or on the apps and games you can set limitations or block them depending on what you feel is necessary. Screen time. This is going to be very important. Once again, you have to turn that on. Once you enable it, you can schedule a time. So if you were having the children or the family members going on there from, let's say, 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock, you would click that, click here, and remove the time that pre-exists. It's automatically for 7 to 10. And then you would remove it and add the time of your choosing. Once you could block the whole uh, Sunday, for example. You could block Saturday, or whichever day you prefer. Now, it does allow you to have multiple time slots. So, like for our children, for example, they have a big gap in between some of their lessons, like about 2 hour gap. So you could create multiple time schedules here. It does not have to just be one. And their screen time will only be from that. So they will not be able to use the computer unless they are within that time period. And here you can choose max schedule time, which is the time that you have allowed, or you could say, you know what, I'm giving them 8 hours, but I only want them getting it done within 4 hours. And once they are on there for 4 hours, it will kick them off and they can't do them anymore. So this is something that could be very useful if you're trying to make sure your children are focused. Now, they will be allowed to always send in requests for more time. I will try to see if I could add that to the end of this. So on their end, whenever they are trying to go on their devices at a time that you are not allowing it, they will send a request for time, and you can grant them 15 minutes, a half an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever you're willing to give to them, and they will get that time. Now, let's move on to apps and game limits. So here, again, unfortunately, we do not have a list of apps, but once they log in, you will get a list of apps here. One of the ones that you really, really need to restrict are probably other browsers. So you do not want them having access to Google Chrome or Firefox or any of those other browsers, because then you will not be able to view their history of what websites they're going on or what they're doing online. You will not get that report. It has to be on Microsoft Edge. So you will have to block the other browsers, which you can do that from here. Not only can you block other browsers, but you will be able to, at the same time, limit them if you needed to, or limit apps in general. So for example, if you don't want them downloading apps from the App Store, you could block the App Store. Or if you're only allowing them to access it at a certain time, you could specify what time those apps work. Unfortunately, again, I do not have that here, unfortunately, because this is just a new account and I have not signed this account later. Later I might try to show that at the end as well, to show you what it looks like after that account has logged into a system. Content restrictions. So here you could block inappropriate apps and games, and you could choose what age to do it for. So for example, even if your kid was, 13, but you're like, I want it to be at a 10 years old, then you can change that. Here you can block inappropriate websites. So automatically they have a list of websites that they deem as inappropriate, and they will block those websites based on that. If there are some websites that you want to constantly block, like for us we have YouTube blocked, or there's some websites that you would want to always be allowed. So here you could do only allowed websites, which means they can't go on anything but what you allow, and then you could fill a list of websites that you will allow them to go to, or you could just block specific websites that they go on. Again, from the screen time, you will see what they're going on, and you can block those web pages accordingly. However, this is just another area if you have some other websites that you don't even want them visiting to begin with on here. If you do block a website like YouTube, your child, if they get a link from a teacher, for example, it is a link to YouTube, to a video on YouTube, they will send you a request, and it will actually just unblock that particular video. It will not block YouTube as a whole. It will just unblock that particular page on YouTube, which is a great feature to have. Another reason why I like to use Microsoft Family over anything else. There are other things on here that you probably will not have to use. For example, if your child wants to spend money buying apps from the App Store. Again, for academic purposes, I don't see you needing to use this feature. There is also a find your child option. We have not used that ourselves. Obviously, I would hope all your kids are home. But if your child's leaving and they're on their laptops or whatever, this might be a feature that could be useful for you. I believe this wraps it up for this part of the explanation of how it works. Again, right after, you will have to sign in to the computer. I will highly recommend that you are the main account on that computer, so you will log in with the email account that we just created when we started this, your email. You will log in, that will be the main administrator account on the computer. Once you are logged in, you will have the ability to add your child, and I will show you what that looks like. Okay, so when you search under settings, family and other users, you will be able to see a list of, you'll be the administrator, but you'll also see an option here. It will say allow. This is probably not the best image to kind of demonstrate that, but you will see a list of your family members here, and all you have to do is click their name and click allow. Once you allow them, they'll be able to log into that particular system, and the limitations that you set in place will be applied to any computer that they sign in with that email and that password. Now, once they are in, I will also show you what it looks like when they send the request. So this is basically what they will see on their computer. It will say time's up when they don't have any more time, or if they're trying to access an application they are not supposed to. It will say time's up, and they will have to request more time or sign off. Now, if there's any questions at all, please be sure to let me know. There could be some things that I left out. I tried to remember as much of it as possible, but I believe this sums up the majority of it. Again, they will have to sign in onto the computer, which you should already be administrator on. And another benefit to that I forgot to mention is, if you do not have access to a browser and you are not able to give them more time, you will be able to from the actual computer. So on the activity, usually you would get the request right here. They'll say they're requesting to use this app, or they're requesting more time. It will pop here, and then you will allow them or not allow them or deny the request. But if you don't have access to a computer, or there's no internet at that time, or if there's anything like that, you could bypass it by logging in with your administrator account on that computer, which is again the reason why I say that you should have an administrator account added on that computer first before you add the child's account to the computer. Okay, well, I hope this is very helpful. Again, please, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.